Oh, hello you guys. Long time no see, I guess. Haven't been uploading a lot recently. Sorry about that. Things have gotten busy lately. I've had to study, drive, and a bunch of stuff. But it's a new year. 2018 was interesting, I guess. Still working on repairing my memory, in the sense of stop telling myself that I have a bad memory and start remembering things better. It's a busy blow. But 2018, I've heard a few people say it was pretty bad, but I mean, came a few good things. Summer went pretty well. I think it was this summer that I ran the game with Orc. I think that was this summer. Fairly sure so. I've gotten into D&D this year, I think. Must have been this year, right? Can't have been more. Maybe the end of last year. That being 2017. And then, out of the blue, towards the end of this year, came a wonderful surprise. Let me pen you guys a picture. So, 2017, I lost a lot of connections because of a silly mistake of mine. I goofed. Let's be honest with ourselves. This is a story for a different time. But I lost a lot of connections. I got quite down in the dust. I'd say probably. It might be classified as a depressive period, but I've never been one to class myself as depressed. I feel like there's a lot of people who are much worse off than me, and I'm not quite in a position to call myself it. But I felt alone. I had friends who still cared for me, who still were there to support me, don't get me wrong. But I lost something near the end of 2017, right before my birthday. What a wonderful way to start your adult life, isn't it? Turning 18 with that experience. During 2018, I sought a new home, away from home, I guess. I'd lost the community I'd been in. But it's hard to find something that fills that void of something you got in touch with over the period of 1 year for that specific community, and for the larger community it was a part of over the course of, God, it must have been 2 years, at least 2, maybe 3, and lose what you built up during that time. Feeling that you had betrayed people because your stupid mistakes, it felt rough. And finding something to replace that was not something that would be easy. I bounced around trying to find a new home, I guess. I found a few places, but none of them real was the same. It didn't feel the same. I didn't know the people. I found Danplan server, the Danplan YouTube channel. Great channel, you should check it out. They make some pretty good videos. Their Discord server, I was there for since, must have been now, the start of fall, end of summer. Spent time there. And had a pretty good time. The issue was that the community is so large that you can't have the relationship that I used to have. You couldn't have that personal relationship to a certain extent with each person on the server. Not everyone, of course. But once you start getting into thousands of people, or close to, then it gets harder, and you're not assured things. Then, in fall, one day I was looking up things, Googling images for spending time satisfying certain needs. We're adults here, we know what I'm talking about. And I happened upon a thing on Google Plus, a community, where there was a link to a Discord server. It was a role-playing community, something I hadn't touched in 5 years. Yeah, something like 5 years. I had been a large part of the role-playing community on Google Plus for 3 to 5 years. I hadn't been a large part. But there was a link to a Discord server, and I joined it. I was like, well, screw it. We'll see here. If nothing else, they'll have good hentai, because that's something you can trust these people with finding. I was fairly active on the server, not the most. At first I was just there to see if some roleplay started. My initial, it wasn't really the images, I guess, that first drew me in. It was the idea that there would be roleplays that I could observe and get some ideas for my writing, particular ERPs, and get some ideas for my loot writing. I started being more active. I started asking if people wanted particular hentai. Sought it out. After a while of this activity, one person on the server suggested they make their own. Another place, a place designed by their thought, and they asked, would that be a good idea? I was like, sure, screw it. It's worth a shot, if nothing else. If it fails, you haven't lost anything. Making a server on Discord is free. They did. And they invited me. The server started blossoming. People started growing, talking to each other. People I had gotten to know on that first server joined. A new person I had met there, Hunter, joined. We started talking, chatting. I took control essentially of the bar section of the role plays, where I now run the bar as the bartender. In fact, 3 of them. That must have been the end of November, start of December, somewhere around there. And over the course of a month, the server has grown into something wonderful, and I feel at home again. I feel as though I have found something I had lost, at the same time as I find another home that feels and fills the same purpose for me as that community that I goofed up in. And this time, it's with people who are more open about sexual things, so no PG-13 thing to keep into account. You know, be polite and stuff, but you don't have to follow some arbitrary rules about swearing. Rules that are really hard to really understand, especially if you don't make a list. I'm not pointing fingers. Those who know me know who I'm talking about. I hold no grudges. I make suggestions. I eventually became a moderator on the server, quite quickly, surprisingly enough. I guess my calm nature has some benefits. Calm nature. Wow, that sounds so ironic after talking about this. But let's face it, when it comes down to it, when a conflict starts, I try to go into a mode of just observing what has happened. What can we do? We can't change the past. What can we do to prevent this from happening in the future? There. And try and shut down the argument so people don't get heated. I've gotten to know new people. And during this year, I started making plans to go to the Netherlands as well. To meet Deborah and Shibi. It's gonna be wonderful. I finished my math course. That has been a struggle, but I got through it. It was a decent grade. It's not best, but it's something. Finished a communication course right before it ended, and this, my entrepreneur course, is gonna finish this Monday. 2018 wasn't so bad, especially not towards the end. I have earned a lot. I'm terrified to lose it again, but I am so thankful for the people on that server for giving me a home again. If any of the people on that old community that I used to be on sees this, as little as I think that's going to happen, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being there, for giving me a period of my life during 2017, of course, but still a period of my life where I felt at home. I'm sorry that I fucked it up. Perhaps I wasn't meant for the community. I am a man who appreciates all his sides, and I want to be able to be free in that. Maybe I was more meant for the community I am in now. As much as I'm a man who likes to spend time with younger people, who could easily see myself work as a babysitter, I want to have the possibility to, when I'm alone or with friends, be free to talk dirty things, to talk about those sides of life, to talk about dark things. God, I wish I had taken up the opportunity to play some D&D with people who are older earlier. Playing with younger kids, you gotta reel it back a bit. Especially when you don't want to get yelled at by their parents. Now I'm free. I'm so glad for it. Here's looking forward to 2019. I hope I'll see you guys there. Until then, I've got a bit of studying to do before the finals. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. As unbearable as I am. And until next time, see ya. Hey again. Real quick before I go. New Year's resolutions are weird, but for once I've got one. I'm gonna try and read through my written works. Each time I've written them, let's try to not goof up again. Don't want to lose more things. Happy New Year.